very warm welcome to We the People. Prostitution may be the oldest profession in the world, but the rights and restrictions of sex workers has always been a contentious and hotly debated issue, not just in India, but all over the world. Now here in India, the government has proposed a set of changes to the law that actually legislates the trade. It is a contentious and hotly debated set of changes. Some of the changes include the fact that soliciting clients will no longer be a crime if this proposed bill is actually approved. Magistrates can no longer evict sex workers from their premises. But, and here's a controversial change, clients of sex workers can now be punished under the proposed new law. Brothel keeping and renting space for prostitution continues to be illegal. And this is another contentious clause. Those who live off the earnings of a sex worker can be punished. This includes, of course, people over 18 and not minor children. This new set of changes is one that has divided activists down the middle and has brought an age-old question to the fore. Is there a need to decriminalize prostitution? Is there a need to make the sex trade legal and bring sex workers overground so that they can access the same civil liberties as everyone else? Or would that be only institutionalizing commercial sex and the sale of bodies for sex? Those are some of the questions we're looking at on the program this evening. Let me start with Sohini Ghosh. As someone who's made a film on sex workers, who's worked with them for a really long time, it's not so much the specifics of the new proposed law that I want to ask you about, Sohini, but the larger philosophical concept. Are you actually saying that it should be okay for us as a society, for women or men, to put their bodies on sale and use it as a way of making money, just like any other profession, be an engineer, be a doctor, or be a sex worker?
Yes, certainly, of course.
You are saying that?
I am saying that. And I would make one correction, though, that I don't think it's a body on sale. You're just renting it out for that time. Now, I'm a teacher. I rent out my brains for a salary. And I think all of us rent something out. You're also renting out your skills to NDTV. And I think that, we have to see sex workers really work. And sex work really is more about work than about sex. And I think it's time that we recognize that.
And there is nothing that discomforts you about the concept of sex being, in a way, treated as something that has a price tag on it?
I don't understand why sex should be taken out to be this absolutely sacred and noble thing. And, I have a problem with that because I think that at the heart of our discomfort with sex work lies our discomfort with sex, because we have such a moral position about it, and how certain kinds of sex are only legitimate sex, sex within heterosexual marriage, for instance. We know, for instance, that all kinds of sex is stigmatized, not just sex work. Anything that moves out of the sex, which is not, used for the procreation, the sex without a purpose, sex for pleasure, is seen to be a problem.
Okay, so for you, this is just another example of our generic hypocritical squeamishness with sex. Madhu Kishore, let me get you in now. Not very many people would say that sex workers should be treated like criminals. People like Sohini are saying, don't treat them like criminals and don't treat them like victims, treat them like professionals. You would say what?
See, it's one thing to say don't treat them like criminals. Yes, I would agree with that. There is need to decriminalize, but to say that it is equivalent to being a teacher or a nurse or a doctor, it's not me. It's throughout ages. There has been this battle. No society has considered it as normal as other skills and trading of other skills. And I think the key point is it encourages men to be sexually and morally irresponsible. Sex is connected to procreation, bringing up children, producing children. As it is, men have a propensity towards it, and which is towards sexual and moral irresponsibility towards their offspring.
Is that too moralistic?
No, I'm saying civilized societies have tried to make men feel responsible for their offspring. And sex for sale or bodies on rent encourages men to be even more irresponsible than they would otherwise be.
Okay.
So there is a problem, which is not to say that I want the police after the prostitutes, I want them in jail. I'm not saying that, but to be as blasé about it and say
so
it's
philosophically
equivalent.
You have a problem
I have
with
very serious, deep problems.
We'll come back to you for what an alternative model could be in your view, but let me get Kiran Bedi in. One of the things that victimizes sex workers, if I could use that word, is seen to be the police. There are tales and tales of how sex workers say that policeman will either come, get a hafta from them, get a bribe, use it as an excuse to invade the bedroom when they're not being clients themselves. Is that an unfair assumption about the police?
The police, you see, whether they get the haftas or not, that's one side. But they will follow the law. Because the current law victimizes the prostitute literally twice. First of all, she's a victim for having been there. She's not there by choice. The research is showing that 86% of them are not there by choice. They've got in by deceit, by being trapped, by being cheated.
By being trafficked, essentially.
By being trafficked. And then after that, again, the law victimizes them by saying they are the offenders.
Yeah.
And not the person who's coming as a client and who's enticing her, who's buying her. So the haftas are part. Haftas are from many other sources too. But the law already victimizes her twice. And the new amendment is actually amending that. There's a big paradigm shift is that she's already a victim.
Are you okay with the clients? You see, the new amendment actually says soliciting is not punishable, but it makes the clients, those who go to these sex workers.
That's the amendment.
Do you agree with that amendment?
Absolutely. I am very happy to see this paradigm shift.
You're happy to see it?
I'm very, very happy. I think it is long overdue, and it is meeting a long overdue need, because this was totally victimizing the woman twice over.
So for you, men or women who pay for sex should be treated as criminals?
For me, those men who come to use the woman's body and buy her out to see the jail.
Okay, Mahabano Kotwa, let me get you in now. As somebody who's sort of, brought vagina monologues to our theatres.
And now the Hindi one too.
And now the Hindi one too. Are we mixing up issues?
Absolutely.
Are we confusing sexual liberation with sexual oppression, some would say?
It is everybody's free choice, and I don't think that you can do this to people.
Okay.
We just can't.
Well, now this is the grey area. Is it really about free choice? Before I come to Sudhir Mishra and Anand Grover and Sandhya Mulchandani, we're talking on behalf of sex workers. Let's hear from them in their own voices. Mala, आप ये बताइए कि आप कब से इस प्रोफेशन में हैं और आप कैसे इसमें आए?
हम आया है जो हमारा घर में थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम था, जो लड़का लड़की को थोड़ा अलग करते थे. हमारा जो मम्मी थे,
मतलब आपके भाई को ज्यादा बेटर ट्रीटमेंट मिलता था?
बेटर ट्रीटमेंट नहीं, खाना से लेकर हर चीज का सुजग मिलता था, हमको नहीं मिलता था. और हम थोड़ा जिद्दी टाइप का था और लड़का का जैसा कपड़ा उपड़ा पहनते थे. तो हम बोलते थे हम अपना बाप का साथ ही खाना खाएंगे, भाई के साथ खाएंगे, वो भी जो खाएगा हम खाएंगे. तो एक दिन हमारा ऐसा हम हमेशा करते रहते थे. तो एक दिन हमारा मम्मी बहुत गुस्सा हो गया, हम लोग गाँव के है, बहुत गुस्सा हो गया. बोला जो तुम तो जब ससुराल जाओगे तो इतना भाई बाप का तो सर तोड़ के लेके जाओगे.
अच्छा,
तुम कमाने जानते हो, वो लोग कमा के लेके आते, लोग को पहले खाना देना चाहिए. तुम औरत जात हो, तुम कमाओगे जब तब तुमको मालूम पड़ेगा. तो ऐसा बोला. तो हम तो मेरा एक दोस्त था, तो हमारा दोस्त को बोला जो हम कहीं काम मिलता ना तो हम काम करता. तो बोला तो हमारा कलकत्ता में एक हमारा सिस्टर है, उसका साथ तुम बात करने से तुम काम करने मिलेगा.